Hey everyone, I hope you are. This is CoinsKid. Just going to XRP. Once again, thank you for support, okay? Be the CoinsKid crew. So I think we've had XRP season. I think we've had Ethereum season. And right now I think we're giving it for alt season. And this is something we're looking at. If the Bitcoin dominance begins to fall here and waterfall, we are in alt season. And the confluence is in basically what happened before in the previous cycle. As we approached the peak of that cycle in the spring of 2021, we had a waterfall in the Bitcoin dominance, and that's exactly what's happening right now. So like I said to you, if we do start to see this fall, then I think we've got some verticals across the board here. Okay, so we're seeing Fartboy breakout, we're seeing Cardano pump right now, and again the index yesterday was telling us to buy Cardano, and I relayed that to you, and so far so good. So I'm just respecting the data. Now for anyone tuning in will know that I've been anticipating this pump because of the Bitcoin dominance in confluence with obviously the crystal ball as well. So the crystal ball indicator based on M2 global money supply is trending up basically. Now we do have some kind of big pullback in September. We've got some kind of ABC here, so I think we could come down in dominance, come back up, and then we'll begin to waterfall for the remainder of the year. But what I'm looking for to exit my position in this market are the characteristics of the top. Okay, we've got the data points in the CoinsKid done money indicator that create for yourselves. Once that comes down again, I think we've got an indicator to jump out, and equally within the price structure itself, where, and I've shown you this before, really simply, Bitcoin comes up, comes down, makes a lower high, total comes up, comes down, breaks out, total 2. Okay, so for those people that tuned in yesterday, I was looking at total 2 with you. It is right now breaking out as we are seeing the dominance break down. So obviously it's squeaky bum time for the top, because the more that this drops, the more increased probability the cycle's over. Okay, and basically we're in alt season right now. So along this journey, for anyone that's been paying attention, we broke bull, we've been doing incredibly well on Bitcoin. We had the pullback, which led to the breakout for XRP. We had the pullback here, which led to the breakout for Ethereum. And right now we've got this drop and pullback, which is leading to alt season. And we're seeing the likes of Hi-Fi do 7x yesterday. We're seeing Fartboy go vertical. We're seeing Cardano pump. We're seeing beautiful moves across the board. So I'll try and ride this wave with you, but what I'm looking for to exit is many data points and then the characteristics of the top. Bitcoin's lower high, total 2s breakout. Okay, so stay tuned to the channel for those exit signals right now. So let's jump into the charts, because XRP is doing really well right now. But I don't think, and again, there's no bias on this channel, I think XRP's at its season. I think Ethereum's at its season. I think right now altcoins are the play. And the proof is in the pudding. Look at Hi-Fi, 7x yesterday. It's doing what XRP did last year. So this is why I've been looking at altcoins with you. At the minute, XRP is just respecting the fib like a boss. I'm going to show you exactly where them fib targets are. Okay, let's dive into the data right now. So yesterday we saw a massive drawdown on the LD, the liquidity dance, around about 36%. And with that, we've seen a trigger for obviously risk on, which is basically money being withdrawn from the banks by people, investors, taking that risk on right there in crypto, and boom, we're seeing this nice little move to the upside because of the drop in the LD basically. So this thing is continuing its downtrend, and it's one of the reasons, way back when I made this, I did say to you, I don't think this is a cycle top because of the LD. The LD will give us a clue that the top's in once we start to see it trending up like this, because people are being safe, they're taking money into the bank and are not investing and not being risk on. And one of the clues is the LD, liquidity dance. Look at that. So once this starts to trend up, you will expect to see, and if you take a look, that was roughly the spring of 2021. You start to see it trend down and you start to see this trend up. But at the minute, we're seeing this trend down. It's continually trending down. If we zoom in, you can clearly see, look, it's just lost its footing just there. Had a little spike up. We saw a little pullback across the charts, and this is continuing down. A minus 36% drop is what's leading to the pop right now. If we take a look on the index, you can clearly see we're seeing a lot of coins on the micro push into the sell zone. Yesterday, Cardano, like I said to you, was a buy for me because it was in the neutral zone. Even Hype right now is chilling out a little bit in the neutral zone on the micro. So what I'm looking for, in confluence of many other things, is the macro signal to be sell. Basically, the entire market here, we need to see this index just like that, like on BNB. That is just max sell, max FOMO, people thinking they're going to get rich, but we're right at the tippy top of this bull market. We don't quite see it yet, okay? So obviously this is why I'm holding on for dear life, and I think we've got verticals across the board. So equally what I'm looking at as well is a done money indicator. Again, these are all the tool sets and data points I've built for you. We've got Bitcoin trending up, and retail is just not here. It's got this little pullback just there, currently at 20. But as we approach this red line, for me, I think you got a window of opportunity right there to get out of crypto, and this is something I relayed to you last year. As we approach this, we're coming down. Everyone's getting real exuberant. Everyone thinking they're going to get rich. But like I said to you, if we're just respecting this data, we've got a big correction coming into the charts, and lo and behold, we did. Okay, so again, keep an eye on this data point, the dumb money indicator. So right now, they're all the indicators I'm looking at. Equally, we've got the CKR, at the moment that's pumping, it's doing really, really well. We'll take a quick look at that. At the moment, the CKR is sitting around about 73. Again, we've not gone bright red, which is what we typically do. Went red there, went red there, went red there. So again, we're looking at that. If Bitcoin can come up and take out the local high, then I think we're in this parabolic phase here for crypto markets. But obviously, what goes up must come down. I think there'll be retracements along the way here. And obviously, I'm looking for all the data points to jump up and down and say, okay, we're out. But there is something that's showing a correction in September into October. Now, we've got the pump into September as anticipated, but like I said to you, I think we'll have some kind of correction, because of the data point I'm looking at, which is your crystal ball. So let's take a quick look at the Bitcoin chart, and then we'll jump into the XRP chart, okay? So looking at Bitcoin on the 4-hourly time frame, I did relay this opportunity to the CoinsKid crew, the inverse head and shoulders here. We've got the ascending triangle, 1, 2, 3 points of contact, broke out the third point of contact, and slowly but surely we're trending towards a technical target around about $119,000, which is where my TP point is for Bitcoin, okay? And obviously I want to see what the data and the metrics are telling us at that particular point. So I actually think Bitcoin right now is in a technical target to $119,000. What happens there? Do we have an ABC back into this range before continuation? That would be absolutely amazing. Or does Bitcoin come down and lose this low? If it does do that, then structurally it's not looking too clever. So we'll keep an eye on Bitcoin going forward, okay? Now at the minute, this ramp up and this breakout, we are seeing XRP breakout as well. It's broken out of descending triangle, so that's off the table. Right now it's coming up with stairs. So I do have a technical target for XRP. If it can take out a range, then I think it's in a minimal target to roughly $4.13, and I've gone through this with you a million times. So if XRP comes up to that level and begins to roll, it would be 5 waves into that level. So this is where we've got to apply a bit of caution, because at that point, if Bitcoin has got an ABC into this level of resistance and begins to roll, this downtrend that could come into play for Bitcoin could be a major drawdown for XRP. So this is where we've got to be really, really careful and keep an eye on the Bitcoin chart, because what we're looking for from Bitcoin is we need to see it take out this range. Okay, if it comes up like this, holds its support and goes, wow, XRP could go absolutely anywhere in this bull market. So, I'll try and hopefully it does do that, and I'll try and deliver that message to you. But again, I'm just respecting the structure and the data that I see. If Bitcoin comes up, does something like this and loses its low, this is an ABC back up, it's not impulsive, and then boom, you drop in, and it would drag XRP down with that from that technical target, roughly $4.13. So again, I'll keep your data as best I can. So it's really important we're paying attention to the Bitcoin chart. So far so good. Inverse and shoulders are breaking out. If we can pull back and hold this neckline, fantastic, and go again. That is what we want to see in this crypto market. Okay, we need to see Bitcoin taking out the range highs and continuing the show to the upside, because if it does come up and rolls over, everything's in a world of trouble. Okay, and I'll keep your data as best I can. Let's dive into the XRP chart right now to see what we can see. Okay, so looking at XRP on a 4-hourly time frame, this is doing really well, but I think we could be running out a bit of steam here for XRP unless we have a deeper pullback. And the reason is, for anyone that's been with the channel for a very long time, we trade leading diagonals, we trade impulses all the time. And something I've taught you, the first move comes to 1.618, retraces. The second move comes up to the 2 fib, retraces, and then the last move comes up to the 1.272 fib. Your first impulse, yay, you pull back, you 2, you break out 3, which is usually the most powerful, you pull back 4, holds this high-low structure, and then boom, your final 5th wave, okay? And then you tend to run out of steam, towards the end, you run out of steam. So the only thing you can look at is a guide to the final 5th wave being the greatest and the biggest wave typically is something called a leading diagonal, because what happens is you come up in your 1, you pull back in your 2, you come up in your 3, which is quite a nice move, and then you come back in your 4, which breaks the wave 1 high, and everyone's in despair thinking you've lost structure, but you've not. You've created something called a leading diagonal. So this is actually what we wanted to see for XRP, and unfortunately we're not seeing it at the moment. Now it doesn't mean that we still can't see it, because if XRP comes up here and we've got a little bull trap and it does begin to roll and it fails to take out 338, everyone is going to lose their mind. But I'm going to buy this. I'm going to buy this neckline if we see it, because it would be a leading diagonal that puts us up here on this neckline, because at the moment you can clearly see it's coming up, it's not really doing much. We're not really getting this vertical to the upside here for XRP, and the reason is it's because it's already done it. If you move to the left, it's already had its vertical, which we traded, and it was an amazing move. And this is why in recent times, not bullshit, not hoping, I've been telling you I think there's other opportunities to make more money from this point in other coins than XRP, and lo and behold, you're seeing it across the board. You're seeing these coins go vertical, and they're in more appreciation from this point than XRP is. So the proof's already in the pudding. A lot of people don't want to hear that, but I'm just there to tell you what I see, and obviously I could be completely wrong. So what we want to see, the best thing we can see for XRP is this wave one high being broken? Because if it's not, it means that this is basically a 1.272 move from the previous pivot low. So basically from the previous pivot high, which is there before the drop, you always target your 1.618 fib of the previous pivot high as your wave one. It did that, beautiful. Then you get your ABC zigzag, which is a simple retracement to where you came from. So from the high of wave one to the start of wave one, you come down and you slam bang into the golden ratio in a zigzag. Fantastic. Okay, and then what you've done, you've broken bull again. So you've got an impulse correction, and right now you've got another impulse. And you can clearly see that this is a third wave, okay, because it went vertical. And from the bottom to the top, it was a nice move around about 91%. So from this bottom here, this came up roughly 64%. So already the wave 3, the laws of value wave state, is not the shortest. So you've got your impulse move, you got your 1 into your 2 into your 3, and right now you've been in some kind of complex zigzaggy wave 4 correction. There's potentially bottom there, but if it has bottom there, it means you've got a lackluster 1.272 fib move, because like I've taught you, your wave 1 starts well, you come back, your wave 3 is really nice, you come back, and then your final fifth wave is kind of running out of steam in the trend basically. One of the key things to identify that is basically if you don't create a leading diagonal, it doesn't give you that bigger fifth wave as an absolute certainty. Okay, and I'll go through that with you. So at the moment, XRP is coming up, you're taking out the fibs, amazing, you're breaking through the 0.5 fib. If you can come up and take out this range here and the 786, you've got an increased probability that you're up here at the minimal target. The 1.272 is 397, the 1414 is 415, and the 1618 is 442. But do I think XRP will go beyond them? Possibly not. And the reason is because, and again, there's no bias in this, and I could be completely wrong, it's because we've not created this leading diagonal where basically the wave 4 is basically broke down below the wave 1 high. Because if you had have done that, with a certainty you're going above a 1.618 because you're hitting this neckline, because this is exactly what you're doing a leading diagonal. You could have got as high as a 2.618 or even further. So basically what you want to see is something like this for XRP, because it gives you more power, because at that point you are creating a leading diagonal. I hope you understand what I'm talking about. Okay, so if we move to the left, how powerful are leading diagonals? We've traded many of these in the past, and this is basically what we wanted to see to give us the clue that wave 5 is going to be the greatest wave in this impulse. So if we zoom out on the daily, we traded one way back in January 2023, and we also traded one in the last impulse as well. So you got your 1 from January 2023, you've come up in your 1, you flagged in your 2, you broke in your 3, you're creating your neckline, look at that, and then you come back in your 4, which broke the wave 1 high, then you broke bull to the neckline. So it's basically a broadening channel in 5 waves. It's a bearish reversal pattern, and then you come down eventually to where you form the channel. So that's a big tip. We did all that. That's in the past. So the other leading diagonal we traded, and a guide to where you're going to go on the neckline, your wave 5 is going to be the greatest move, was equally in the last impulse just there for XRP. So you got resistance wave 1 from the bottom in December 2020. So that was a bottom. You come up in a 1, pull back in a 2, came up in a 3, ABC wave 4 that broke the wave 1 high, and then boom, you came up into the same neckline. Resistance, resistance, resistance. Okay, and you can see the final fifth wave was the biggest, and the reason is because in leading diagonal, it is always the biggest wave, the last wave, fifth wave. So basically, it's unfortunate XRP's not lost that wave 1 high. There's still time for it to do it, but if it does do it, I think there's an increased probability. Okay, we could just target this line in time, because at the moment we can't target that line as a guide to exit. So obviously XRP could do something like this, absolutely, and if it does, where do you sell? That's a difficult thing, because it's in true price discovery. But in my experience here of charting and things like that, doing something like that is a little bit against the norm here for XRP. So I'm anticipating some kind of 1 into a 2 into a 3. If this is the bottom of 4, it's coming up into this level here. At least everyone's thinking you're going to go vertical, and then it drops, and then you've had your fifth wave up. So this is where we've got to apply a bit of caution, look at other charts and other data points to give us a guide. So effectively what I'm trying to say, if we'd have pulled back here and we do get the break and we fail to take out 338 for XRP, and we do see a rollover, okay, and we come down and we lose this wave 1 high, then all we've got to do is kick back, relax, buy this neckline, and then boom, sell this neckline. So this is simple technical analysis, and with that it would say to us, okay, you got your 1 into your 2 into your 3 into your pullback 4 and into your boom, your vertical into Q4 up here on this neckline, which is our exit strategy right there. So I'll leave you with that. Obviously there's no guarantees that XRP is about to go vertical now or not, whatever. It's just simple technical analysis and data that I relay to you. So I'm not selling XRP yet. I do hope, and again, hope's a dangerous word, that we do see some kind of pullback for XRP where it does break the wave 1 high, at 266, because if it does, it gives us a greater target going forward. Hope you understand that. Stay off your station, stay tuned. Take care, everyone. Back to another update on XRP. Bye bye.